Becky from the Marks Group, welcoming you to our monthly Salesforce tips and tricks webinar. As you know, each month we post new tips to the website. On the last Tuesday of each month, we review them live by webinar. If you're not getting the Marks Group newsletter or you're watching this on our YouTube channel, please go to marksgroup.net and sign up. You can check out our past posts while you're there. I have chat enabled, so if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I may leave some questions to the end so we can dive a bit deeper after we run through each tip. So let's get started. Today's Salesforce tips are going to be done in Classic Edition. I will let you know where to find things in Lightning as well. We're going to talk about enabling email in Salesforce for your user, setting up a signature, and setting up templates, and then using them when you want to send an email to a client. So let's get started. First thing you're going to need to do is you are going to need to enable email for your user. To do that, you just click on your username and go to My Settings. In here, you'll then click on Email, and then you'll click My Email Settings. From here, you're going to want to go ahead and put how you want your name displayed on outgoing messages. You'll want to put the email address of where it's going to come from and anything for replies. You also want to let it know if you want to automatically do a blind copy to yourself on these emails. This comes in handy if you're wanting to use Outlook, and that way when it comes to you, you can link that email to the client or the household or account in Salesforce. And then here you can go ahead and put in just some plain text of how the email signature would be. This is not using any kind of a signature template or anything like that, or a letterhead template. This is just plain text. Put your name, title, where you're from, put phone numbers, things like that. And then this is how it will display, if you put your signature into a template or when you're typing email. And then when you're done, you go ahead and these bottoms, go ahead and keep these checked, and you don't have to check that one, the send apex wording. So go ahead and click save. And when you are done, you are going to be ready and set up to go ahead and send your email. So the first thing in sending emails is you might have repeated emails that you send out all the time. Maybe it's like a reminder email or some sort of form letter that you send out, acknowledgments, birthdays, things like that you want to send out. And it's the same thing, but you want it a little bit customized so that you can have maybe the contact's name in it and other field data inside of it. So we are going to go ahead and create a personal template here under your user settings. And we go in the same way underneath your username down here, and then you hit email template. Now, if you're using Lightning, you will find those by going into Setup, and then go ahead in the search box, put in email templates, and it'll come up with a category for classic email templates. And it's basically going to be the same steps as I'm going to go through now. So we're going to go ahead and hit email templates. It'll come up to the screen showing you any of the email templates that you have. Notice up here you have a folder. You're going to have unfiled public ones, personal ones that only you can see and use, and you can also create different folders for different departments or things like that, different types. So to get started, we're going to go ahead and click New Template. You have 4 choices from here. It could be just a plain text template. If you want just something to go out like payment received, something like that, doesn't have to be fancy, you can choose text. If you want to do an HTML, which you can customize a bit, but there's actually, you need to use a classic letterhead or some form of a letterhead template. We'll be going over those at a later date. You have your custom, which is HTML without using the letterhead template. And then you can actually create a complete Visual Force page using that programming language. But for our example, we're going to just do a custom without a classic letterhead. Click Next. And go ahead and fill out the information here for the headings in the top, where you want to store it, and will it be available to use. If you're working on it and you're not sure, you can, don't check the box, then it won't display in list. If you want it ready for use, go ahead and check it. Give it a new name, maybe. Make it just so that you understand what it is, because you will be picking it from a list. So maybe you're going to be doing an open house or something like that. You can put a description in here. It could be, maybe you're sending a thank you for people attending. And then this field here is going to be the subject line. We will set this other places as well. You can see it is not required to put that in here now, but you could go ahead and put that in. And so we can just do and then we go ahead and click next. You do need to make sure anything that has red next to the field value here is filled out. Okay, from here, we're going to go ahead and we are going to start creating our template. You can just go ahead and type your template in here. It doesn't have to have any field data in here, but if you would like to put field data in here, you can type in Dear, and then we want our contact first name on here. So from the drop-down list under available merge fields, you'll see all the different objects, contact fields. Up here, you'll see your account fields. Kind of here, you'll see your user fields. These are the most ones that you're going to be looking for. So our contact field, we want to go ahead and we want to find first name. Click on that. And then over here in the third column, it's going to show you what you need to put in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a Control-C and then put that on in here. Make sure you put in all of your punctuation, grammar. So I'll put in my comma and I'll double space. Notice I have my space in between here. I can then type in, thank you for attending, and then everything else that you want. Go ahead and close it out, and you can then put your username in here. So for that, we would go down here to go to users, our user field. We will select the first name and the last name, or we could just do name, and then we'll do Control-C again, Control-V. And so now we have our template created. Of course, you get a little bit more creative. It can be as long as you want. You can put as many fields in as you want. And then we are done. So we have Dear, the first name of our contact. Thank you for attending, sincerely, and then your name. So we're going to go ahead and click Next. Actually, we can click Preview, and it will open up in a browser. It's not going to merge the fields yet, but you can kind of see what your text is looking like. One thing I do need to note is if you notice when I did hit Preview, you notice it's all in one line. So you do have to put in a little bit of HTML, and what that is are breaks. And you can use the div to do that. So to add spacing, and this is all included in the tips on the website. You can find this information. You can go ahead and add, like I said, break and so let me get that for you. Sorry. So if we want to put in a new line before here, we're going to put in some breaks, which is um, less than BR greater than, and then you need to do the same thing only with your ending tab BR. Don't get too anxious over this stuff. It's pretty basic once you figure out where things need to be in that. So really, I am just going to put in some breaks and stuff like that. And then after we do this, we'll test it again and we'll see what that looks like. And actually, I'm just going to copy it here for this one. And we're going to go ahead and preview it. And now notice we have our page breaks, or our line breaks in here. One of the other things you can do is use the div. And that is basically like a divider for things. So if I wanted to put a title here, I could add another new line. And then I can use the div and then put my title. Landing tag, and what that's going to do is it's going to put a new line, but it is not going to add the space. And of course, it is adding space here. So now we have our space in between our dear, our body, and our sincere with the VR HTML tags, and then with the div HTML tags, we can get a new line, but it doesn't add the space. Again, these HTML tags are explained, and there is an example in the tips and tricks on the website. So after you've liked the preview, you can go ahead and click Next. Now you're going to do a text version because not everyone is going to read their email in rich text, and you don't want it to just kind of come over as gobbledygook or as plain. So from here, you can do the same thing. You can put dear, you know, if you don't even have a name, you can just be very general, you know, hello. Go ahead and type in, you know, thank you for attending and the rest of your body. And then you would just, you know, just put in your name and do it that way. And this is just in case somebody is unable to read it with the rich text. You can hit copy text from HTML version and go ahead and do that, but it will overwrite anything you have here. We'll click OK. And then you can kind of clean it up and, you know, do what you'd like as well. You know, put your hello and your name. You do it that way as well. After this, you're pretty much done, and you're going to go ahead and click Save. If you need to come back in, make a couple changes, you can click to edit the HTML version, which will take you back to how we created this. You can hit Edit Text Version, which will take you back to how we edit this. You can delete it. You can clone it. Maybe you like something, you spent a lot of time on it, and it's similar to something else you want. Just clone it and make a couple tweaks, and you're done. To do the properties, which would be this information at the top, go ahead and click Edit Properties. And finally, you're going to want to test it. You want to see what it looks like before you actually send it out. So if you click Test, Send Test, and Verify Merge Field, you can come in here and you can actually pick a contact, and it will fill those fields out. It doesn't have to be both a contact and an account. And you don't even have to send it to yourself. You could send it to another email address. You could send it to another person, and then just go ahead and click OK. And that email will go ahead and be sent to the email address that you said, and it will merge these fields. So when they get it, you want to verify that. How does it look? Is the format okay? Did my merge fields come over correctly? And once that is done, you are ready to go ahead and use your template. And to do that, you just need to be out on a record. So we'll go out to our admin record. In Lightning, you do have the send email button. It is usually, if it has not been removed, where the activities section is on your screen. Here in Classic, it's going to be right in activity history. Go ahead and click send an email button. From the top up here, you're going to select template, and you'll go ahead and pick your template that you want to send. Going to go ahead and fill out the body and all of that. Mine is not filling in here. I don't have a name on there at the moment, but it would fill out that name. I'm not going to worry about it. The two you can pick in here, and you can go ahead and search for it. Just grab Corey. I know that's not the record I'm on. And then it will grab the email address from the record. You can relate it to an account. You don't have to. You can do any additional manuals. The BCC, because of how we set up the settings, is automatically going to come to me. And then the subject is ready to go. And you can attach files if you'd like. You can even attach them to the template, so they would always be there if you wanted to send like a receipt or something like that with this confirmation or whatever you're sending. Go ahead and click attach file, browse to it, and then when you send, you click send down here or up here. It will send it to the person you've addressed it to. It will send a copy to you, and then as attachments, it'll go as well. So that is how you enable email for your users. That's how you create a user email template, and that is how you will use it when you send out via Salesforce. So thank you for attending, and we hope you enjoyed and learned a lot more about Salesforce and email templates. We will be expanding on this later in the year to include Lightning templates and letterhead templates. So keep tuned for that. Be sure to go to marksgroup.net to get the most recent tips. I'll be posting those shortly, and we hope to see you next month when we review those live. Thank you, and have a great day.